Lilo and Stitch movie seems to have confirmed that sequels will happen with one jaw-dropping scene. Yes, Lilo and Stitch is finally here, and yeah, wow, Disney finally nailed a live-action remake. Unlike the likes of Aladdin and The Lion King, Disney finally remembered why Stitch worked, and one reason is that it actually acknowledged the wider franchise, aka the reason so many of us fell in love with this story and this character in the first place. Yeah, we're talking about the scene where Jumba casually drops the idea of turning Stitch into 627, and in that moment on the digital ship, we also see cameos of Angel and Reuben. It's clear Disney isn't just doing a one-off. They're acknowledging the deeper Stitch canon, which means they might actually do what was once unthinkable and actually make a frickin' sequel to one of these live-action movies. So in this video, we're breaking down that scene and what it means for Lilo and Stitch 2. This is actually a pretty big moment for the Slurp channel because Lilo and Stitch was actually the very first concept trailer we ever uploaded here, and that was nearly, what, 5 years ago? And now here we are, and honestly, when we made that trailer, I never thought the likes of Experiment 624 and 625 would actually show up in a real Disney movie. But they did. Once Jumba gets his grubby alien mitts on Stitch, he pulls the ultimate villain fake out. You think he's about to destroy Stitch, right? Nah, he casually drops the line that instead of killing him, he's gonna dismember Stitch and create a new experiment. You heard me right, it's Experiment 627. Yep, the ultra chaotic OP cousin from the animated series. But that's not all, we also got a straight up visual Easter egg for Angel 624, the pink siren with a voice that flips Experiment's evil, and Experiment 625, Reuben, the sandwich obsessed slacker we all remember from Disney's online game days. According to the producer, there's also a Leroy reference baked in too, but it's a blink and you'll miss it moment. I actually didn't notice it when watching, but if you guys picked up on that, let me know in the comments down below. Disney's not just teasing cameos, they're loreifying this whole thing. Stitch's cousins are out there, Jumba's cooking, and the live action film just set the stage for a potential Stitch cinematic universe. I've always said that Stitch has blockbuster potential, kind of like Sonic but for Disney, and when we first heard this was going to be a Disney Plus project, I'll be real, I thought, oh damn, they do not get Stitch at all. But thank God for Big Papa Iger. He stepped in, moved things around, and yeah, now I genuinely believe we're gonna see more of Stitch and his cousins very soon. But let's get ahead of the boomers and the critics, who are already grumbling we don't need a sequel, or Disney are out of ideas, or they're milking it. No, shut up. Stitch has always been a franchise. I've got such strong memories tied to this world, and I know a lot of you do too. For kids who grew up in the 2000s, this was their first real franchise obsession, before Harry Potter hit its peak, before Star Wars returned, and even before the MCU existed. We watched the TV show every week, we unlocked new cousins, we memorized the experiment numbers like trading cards, we played the games, we collected the toys, and we definitely played this legendary game to death. Yes, Sandwich Stacker deserves to be in the Gaming Hall of Fame. Fight me. Stitch has always had the DNA of a multimedia juggernaut. What made Lilo and Stitch special was that it pulled off everything a big franchise does without ever feeling too corporate. Disney have had bigger box office hits like Frozen, Moana, Zootopia, but none of them pulled off the ongoing cross-media fan-driven world building that Stitch did. Nothing has matched its scope and its soul. So how likely are we to get a sequel, and to see even more experiments running loose in Hawaii? So let's be real, critics have already pointed out that Jumba and Pleakley staying human for most of the film and the total absence of Gantu were likely due to the budget. And yeah, this movie was made for around $100 million, which is far less than what The Lion King or The Little Mermaid had. The movie was originally developed for Disney Plus. Yeah, someone at Disney just wanted to send this to streaming. But now, with the theatrical release and fan hype, and when it makes $1 billion, mark my words, Disney will greenlight that sequel and give the filmmakers way more money. And that means more aliens, more experiments, and more pure chaos in paradise. That said, there's a balance to strike. You can't just throw hundreds of experiments into one film. The sequel needs to adapt the supporting material the fans love, but adjust it for live action, carefully and thoughtfully. So what would the template be? They should 1000% look at the Sonic movies. The first one was grounded, then the sequel brought in Tails and Knuckles and expanded the lore. That's what you do with Lilo and Stitch 2. I am going to make a full-fledged pitch video with all my ideas for Lilo and Stitch 2, which experiments to include, which stories to adapt, and which villains should show up. Gantu. But before I draft that script, I want your ideas. Let's build this together. What do you want Lilo and Stitch 2 to be about? Which cousins do you want to show up? Did your jaw hit the floor when you saw the experiments in the theatre? Any and all thoughts in that comment section down below. I've been Connor for Slurp, and I'll see you soon for way more Stitch content.
Arna sits the throne, but many question her succession.
All rise for Queen Arna, first of her name.
Power doesn't freeze a ruler. It melts them, slowly, until there's nothing left but mad.